Hey there, it's Michelle from Letters and Loops. Today we are going to go over how to create a Tombow galaxy. So for this project, I am using the Canson mixed media paper. It's heavier than normal paper. It's not quite as heavy or rough as watercolor paper, so you want to be careful about how much water you use, but it will hold some water. You also need a paintbrush, or you can use an aqua brush. Washi tape if you want to have some clean lines. You can put them in any shape. Water if you're using a paintbrush. Paper towel. You can also have a heat embossing tool, but that's not necessary. You can just be patient and wait for things to dry. And then of course some Tombow Dual Brush pens. So you'll want a black. And then I really usually like to do monochromatic colors with these, but you can also use similar colors that go well together, like blue and purple, which is what we are going to do today. So to start, make sure your washi tape is pressed down nice and smooth, and then you are going to take the black and kind of just make an outline. This doesn't have to be perfect. You do want to work fast because the longer colors sit on your paper, the harder they are to blend. Put some blue on the outside. If you're doing monochromatic, you want to do the darker colors on the outside and then medium color and then the lightest color on the inside. We're blending some purple in there, so. And you don't always have to make the galaxy in the center. That's just the easiest way to do it. This color is not as light as I thought it was. We'll see how that goes. You do want to leave some spaces like that. It allows for more blending. You're going to take a wet paintbrush, not soaking wet, but decent wet. You're going to start with your darkest color and just get it decently wet. And you're going to rinse and dab on the paper towel. Take the damp paintbrush and start blending that darker color into your first blue here. Rinse again. Start blending in this purple. If you're seeing the lines, just work with your brush a little bit more. That should start going away. You want to rinse in between colors so that way you can see the colors and don't get too much blending, because then you'll just get a big grayish blob. I usually try to keep the center nice and light, so I just use clean water there, and then you can go back, blend any spots that need a little bit more. What I did forget to mention is you need a white gel pen, like a Uniball. Signo is what I have. We'll use that to make the stars. You can also splatter paint and stuff on it. I'm going to dry this real quick. I do have some lines showing through here. As you experiment with this, you'll discover that certain pens, for some reason, just tend to leave more marks. So it's pretty dry. This one lost a lot of its color when I dried it, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. This you have to work especially fast to do. You won't always have to do this, but sometimes things just blend a little more than you want to. Blend purple. See if I can get some of these lines out in the center here. This is just one of those colors you probably want to avoid for galaxies. That is okay. We will let this dry again. So next, once that's fully dry, if you notice my paper did warp a little bit, I'd use a little bit more water than I would have liked. You're just gonna make dots. Try to make them appear random. So some areas they'll be closer together, some they'll be more scattered. Try not to make it look like a pattern, which is really hard to do as human beings. I tend to put more on the darker outside, less in the centers. I don't know why, but shooting star right there in the center. Another one right there. You can also make twinkling stars like that. Another one right here. Okay, and then you are done. Make sure you let that dry, but you can take the washi tape off. Make sure you peel away from the part that you painted. It's less likely, if it tears, it's less likely to tear your hard work there. And I did have a little bit of spillage. That happens. You can fix that with some acrylic paint. You can go over it with the white gel pen. That's what I will do since I have that on hand. Take a couple layers, but it can make the mistake less obvious. A little bit right there. Let that dry and you can do a couple more layers. But yeah, so that's it. Don't use that color. Tends to leave pretty bad lines. But otherwise, I hope this was helpful. If you make anything, I would love if you tag me on Instagram at Letters and Loops, and I will check it out. And make sure to tell me any future tutorial recommendations you want to see, whether it's using things like Snapseed to edit your photos afterwards, whether it's brush lettering, painting related, anything, just send me a DM or an email and I will see if I can do a tutorial on it. Thank you.